What's up, crawlers? It's Sam here from Film Crawl, and welcome to our very first spoiler-free review. Nicole and I will be alternating the narration of these spoiler-free reviews with every video. Still kind of hard to get together. We don't have a studio yet because COVID still. But don't worry, we were both very much a part of writing this review, and you'll eventually see Nicole's face in the next spoiler-free review. With that said, today we are going to be talking about the 2011 action crime film Drive. It's directed by Nicholas Winding Refn and stars Ryan Gosling, Carey Mulligan, Oscar Isaac, Bryan Cranston, and Hellboy. Just kidding, Ron Perlman, he's a great actor. Drive is based on James Salas' 2005 book called Drive, and it follows the unnamed LA stuntman, the driver, played by Ryan Gosling, who eventually falls in trouble with the mob after getting involved with his neighbor, Irene, played by Carey Mulligan, and her ex-con husband, Standard, played by Oscar Isaac. Despite a basic premise and a near-silent Ryan Gosling, Drive gets to the point with its stylistic choices as a colorblind director. Refn chooses to emote through an orange and blue color palette, and the shots that are literally reflected in the windows of those characters who stare moodily out of them. These choices bring attention to the grittiness of the city, the violence that the driver is surrounded by, and the silence between it all without being cheap in any way. At an hour and 40 minutes, the movie covers a lot of ground. The first 30 minutes of the film are amazing, and they tell us everything we need to know about the tone of the movie, with slow pans with the camera and very direct dialogue. Like I mentioned, Driver works as an LA stuntman, but doubles at night as a getaway driver for robberies around the city. He sets the rules. You get in, I get out. I don't carry a gun. You have 5 minutes, and I'm yours in between those 5 minutes. If it's before or after those 5 minutes, I'm gone. Sayonara. Good luck. But back at his apartment complex, he starts to get flirty with his neighbor Irene and starts to break his rules. He catches feelings for the girl. Then he finds out that Standard, Oscar Isaac, is coming out of prison, and it's her husband. He's coming for him. Just kidding. He's not coming for the driver, but he does size him up. They were about to throw hands at one point. From there, without getting into any spoilers, guys, Standard comes out of prison. Things go haywire, and that's pretty much the premise of the movie. Okay, guys, this is where I want to get into the things I liked and disliked about Drive. First, we'll start with the likes. I love the suspenseful moments in this movie. We were blasting it in our house. There's one moment where I was just like, holy shit! Holy crap, I jumped out of my seat. Very good moments. They bring you right in. The first 10 minutes of the film are awesome. It's a great hook to the movie. And like we mentioned, it's visually pleasing. Refn's color palette that he chooses here is awesome, and the cinematography is really great, along with the editing style that tells us what our characters are thinking, and I think it's a very cool choice. I hope the movie reflects what the novel was trying to say, because I love that editing style, and it was a great choice. The soundtrack and score here are awesome. They definitely have like a Daft Punk-y vibe, 80s vibe, cyberpunk type thing. There's a lot of songs in here you could turn on and drive to. Now let's get into some things I dislike. For a movie called Drive, there's not that much driving in it, and I was kind of disappointed by that. Expect a lot more of this. And a lot less of this. The dialogue is little to nothing. Gosling is playing a silent driver here. There were some moments with him and Carey Mulligan that I felt like we could have had dialogue from him to make him more mysterious, rather than let's just make him stare creepily and that's him. That's Driver. But if they're trying to stick true to the novel, I see why, but it just felt weird in some moments of the film. This is the part of the show where we're going to give Drive a Film Crawl shot score. If you're new here, here is how we rate our movies. 0 being the best movie you've ever watched, and 5 out of 5 shots being you want to be blacked out drunk. You don't want to remember the film. I am going to have to give Drive a 2 shots out of 5. I just think it was overall a really fun film, a cult classic art house film, but at the same time I expected to see a little bit more of what Drive is about, and that's driving and his skill of being a getaway driver. His overall Drive is a cult classic, and now I can see why, and I'm really happy I watched it. The color palette, the score, and those shocking moments I talked about really make Drive a fun watch, and I highly recommend it. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching Film Crawl's very first spoiler-free review. Film Crawl brings you guys movie reviews and video podcasts every Tuesday, so we hope you guys can stick around for next week's show on Drive, where we talk spoilers and more in depth on what we liked and disliked. Make sure you comment below what shot score you were going to give Drive if you've seen it already, guys, or reach out to us on our social media pages. All that information is in the description down below. And next Tuesday will be our full-length spoiler video podcast that will be out wherever you listen to your podcast and also on YouTube. So make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, so that way you can get all those notifications about the podcast, and go over to wherever you listen to your podcast and follow us there, so that way you can listen while you're driving at night. With that said, I'm Sam from Film Crawl, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.